Tonight, a $400 million flip-flop on the second day of his trip to the Middle East. Questions continue to chase President Trump over his decision to accept a 747 as a gift from Qatar. Trump says that only a stupid person would refuse to accept such a gift. But back in 2016, Trump regularly criticized the Clinton Foundation for accepting foreign contributions, including from, you guessed it, Qatar.
Saudi Arabia giving $25 billion, Qatar, all of these countries. You talk about women and women's rights. So these are people that push gays off buildings. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly, and yet you take their money.
The Clinton Foundation accepted as much as $60 million from Middle Eastern countries that oppress women, gays, and people of different faiths. My goal is to keep foreign money out of American politics. Hillary Clinton's goal is to put the Oval Office up for sale to whatever country offers the highest price.
So, what changed? A lot of foreign money is flowing.
Well, in fairness, the gift is actually to the State Department. So it's not to President Trump, it's to the State Department.
I thought it was to the Air Force.
It's to the State Department,
Okay.
and then ultimately we go to the Clinton, or to the Clinton, to the Trump library.
Freudian
To the
slip
Trump
there.
library. And so it's technically not to President Trump, but I get the point. I get the whole gist of what you're saying. We'll see if the State Department approves accepting it or not. But of course, this all goes back to the fact that Boeing can't seem to build a plane, Air Force One, and it's way behind schedule, and he's flying on a 40-year-old plane. So that's part of the issue as well. Qatar offered it to him, and he said, that sounds like a good idea. We'll see how it plays out.
I mean, A for effort. Listen, first of all, this plane will have to be stripped down to its foundation, which will take years and years and years. And if Donald Trump intends to leave the Oval Office in 2029, which I don't think he intends to, but if he does, in fact, well, according to Steve Bannon, actually, he's going to run and win a third term, so maybe not. But he will not be able to fly in this plane as president. So are we going through this entire exercise to go to his library? I think we both know that it's not going to go just to his library, that it's going to go for his personal use, regardless of what he says. The bigger problem is that, of course, he also has a crypto fund and a meme coin. And unlike the Clinton Foundation, none of that money is disclosed. And we have no idea how much the state of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, how much Qatar, how much the Russians, how much the Chinese, how much North Koreans, or anybody is putting in to world financial lenders in which he has a 80% stake. And that is a problem for our national security, because we don't know if these people are simply gifting him a plane, or they're gifting him a plane plus a lot of money to the Trump organization, plus a lot of money to his meme coin collection, plus a lot of money to Melania's meme coin, plus a lot of money to his crypto fund. All of that is not disclosed. So we don't actually know how much for sale Donald Trump really is. And that's a problem.
The meme coin thing is a big deal because, as someone put it today, there's no upper limit on meme coins because they inherently have no value. You can basically say whatever you want about them and pour as much money as you want into them. And in the meantime, it makes Trump and his family wealthy. And by the way, a part of this is not just Trump and his family. Steve Witkoff's son is involved in this. So there are a lot of people with official ties tied up in this effort to juice the Trump family pockets with money. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before.
I think that's right. I mean, the majority of the Trump family's wealth now is tied up in crypto rather than real estate. There's the company World Financial Liberty. Donald Trump Jr., Steve Witkoff's son have been, zooming around, drumming up investment for that. I'm actually less worried by the plane. I understand the concerns about that. To me, the kind of pay-to-play issues are far bigger with crypto.
Right.
I mean, crypto, it's amazing what's happened to this industry. It was started by people with libertarian ideas that you could create a new asset class that would be independent of government and divorced from politics, and it has become the ultimate swamp asset. If you look at the way in which people are, using crypto to do influence peddling in Washington, it's pretty alarming.
And The Economist has an issue coming out tomorrow.
We do.
On this, right? So everybody tune in for that. I just want to play. for Batia. Oh yeah, that's the cover. So Batia, let me play from what Mike Johnson said about all of these various issues around Trump and the conflicts that might occur.
The reason many people refer to the Bidens as the Biden crime family is because they were doing all this stuff behind curtains, but in the back rooms. They were trying to conceal it. What President Trump is doing is out in the open. They're not trying to conceal anything.
Mr. Speaker, the investment in the meme coin, those folks are not transparent. We do not know who those people are.
I don't know anything about the meme coin thing. I don't know. I can just tell you that, President Trump has had nothing to hide.
So because it's happening out in the open, it's not a problem. I'm having a hard time following that argument.
I don't like the plane. I disagree with you. I think it's a big deal. I don't think there's such a thing as a $400 million gift. It's a bribe. I don't think Donald Trump would do anything in exchange for it, but the Qataris certainly think they will get something out of it. I can admit that. Can you all admit that what he just accomplished in Qatar and in Saudi Arabia, attracting $2 trillion of investment into this country, is a huge deal, and that what he accomplished in his speech, laying out a new world order based on peace through commerce and peace through strength, is a huge deal. That these are gifts to the United States, the likes of it, it's very hard to imagine anybody else being able to do. Can we all create a consensus here that the plane is bad and the trip has been amazing for the United States?
It is always great. It is always great when there's, I guess, investment in the United States. That is fine. But I really do not want to skirt the issue here, which is that when an Abu Dhabi investment firm or the Saudi sovereign wealth fund decides to pour billions of dollars into a company that exists only because Donald Trump is president and can juice the value of it, does that concern you?
But Donald Trump doesn't have anything to do with it. It's his family. So are you saying his family should then not be allowed to do business for the length of
but here's the other thing. That's actually not even the case either, because Trump is about to do a dinner with people who have invested in his meme coin. Essentially, he is the carrot for people who are investing in his meme coin, and he's doing that as a sitting United States president.
Any president would sit down and have a meal with any donor.
Okay, we all know that is true. We are talking about millions of dollars invested in cryptocurrency that he and his family are benefiting from.
With other presidents have done this for the DNC or the RNC or for their political device. We haven't. What president in the White House has done it for himself?
Organization is fully integrated into the White House. Well, you mentioned his family.
But the standard that you're saying is that
Jared Kushner is an ambassador right now somehow.
His father, Jared Kushner's father.
Jared Kushner's father.
But wait, what is the analog? I mean, what is the analog? Who else has done this? Who else has basically said, invest in my family's business, and I will have the president sit down with you, and the president, will benefit from this. Who else has done that?
Joe Biden?
Really? Okay. All right. I think we're getting somewhere here. I guess I'm just wondering if it's bad for Joe Biden to do it. Let's say Joe Biden did that. If it's bad for him to do it, why is it okay? Listen, all I said with the Biden situation is the Republicans had 4 years to come up with the proof. They struggled to do that despite many investigations, despite a special counsel. But if you believe that this is a problem, which I think it's fine to believe that, why can't you just say that it's a problem for Trump?
Because I'm saying that it is something that the American people, including everybody at this table, accepts when it's happening on their side and then doesn't accept when it's happening on the other side.
Okay, so what about you? Does that apply to you?
What do you mean?
I mean, are you one of those Americans who you're mad about it when it happens to the other guy, but not when it happens to your guy?
No, I think that, politicians have a certain level of corruption across the board. That's kind of the name of the game.
So you are mad about what Donald Trump is doing right now?
I don't think that what he's doing is any worse than anything we all accepted
are you
as
mad
normal
about it?
under the Biden administration. I said I'm very mad about the plane.
Well, what about the meme coin? And this is exactly, and even if you look at the meme coin, this is exactly why Donald Trump is going after Act Blue to use a deflection from his real corruption that's taking place by letting any sort of foreign investor put money directly into his pocket.
I just want John to talk to me about the scale real quick, because I think that's a real issue here. I mean, it's billions of dollars.
The reason that crypto is worse than the plane is that the federal government is directly involved in regulating cryptocurrencies. And so there are laws that can be changed that will benefit crypto, and Donald Trump's family wealth is tied up in that. The numbers are very large. So the UAE Sovereign Wealth Fund just invested $2 billion in Binance, which is a crypto exchange, and they did that using the Trump stablecoin, which is called OneUSD. That overnight propelled it from being a pretty obscure stablecoin. I know these terms are kind of weird, but a pretty obscure stablecoin to one of the biggest in the world. So the numbers here are really big.
You mean congressional members that regulate industry and trade on the stocks that they're regulating?
Well, part of it's
make money on the effective. How I would say
Congress are over
$50 million.
Hal, I think
nothing
you're
going in.
totally right. That is a real issue. The scale that we are discussing
The scale
right
is-
now is absolutely not in the same stratosphere.
And Republicans were correct to be upset that Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma, has paid a lot of money for this. That was right. This is that, like 100x. And partisanship has just broken people's brains, to your point. And so when your own side does it, you defend it. But this is on a scale that we haven't seen before in
All right,
America.
we gotta leave it there. John Prideaux, thank you very much for